Hey everybody, how's it going? How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome on in. Welcome to WagWorksGA. I am Jeff. I am the illustrator of an author, illustrator team, husband and wife team. My wife Ashley is our writer. If it confuses you to call me Jeff while our channel name is WagWorks, just call me Wags. It's all good. Whatever you call me, I am happy to have you here with us tonight. I hope you're having a good one. You guys, this week, oh man, it's I can't even believe it's been a short week with the Labor Day holiday. It's been nuts. Everything is happening all at once. Yeah, things are about to get super busy. It's going to be a crazy month for us coming up. Lots of good. I'm excited, but also getting ready for it's been pretty nuts. So I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to stream all week. Yeah, this is such a fun, chill time for me. I love being here. I love doing this. I love sharing with you guys. And thanks for joining in. Thanks for being here while I draw and just talk about random things. It's good times. All right. Oh, I wanted to say, I just trying to cram through my library book backlog recently. I wanted to call out this. I just finished the first book in Time Museum. It's pretty cool. By Matt Lux. This is a really good one. He had another book come out recently, Prunella and the Cursed Skull Ring, which we also have from the library, but I didn't grab. It's so good. I love his style. Is very fun, very good line work. I love it. And even as good as it looks with this, it looks even better in Prunella, where he actually watercolor painted every single panel. We actually got a chance to hear him talk a little bit about his work. One of our kids Comics Unite lunch and learns. And yeah, he said he watercolor, like hand painted every panel in Prunella. If you get the chance, you should check it out. It's a beautiful book, and it's a really fun story. But also Time Museum. I'm excited to read the next book in the series. I think there's just 2 right now. But I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm excited to dig in. So, what else I want to talk about? All right, let's go ahead and start moving towards our warm-up. You've got my Clip Studio Paint ready to go. I'm going to open up my timer. Okay. And got my Pokemon cards here. So if you know the stream, you know we warm up on Pokemon, because Pokemon are awesome, and also because it's just a quick way to get the art brain activated, loosen up the arm, loosen up the wrist, start thinking about shapes, manipulating them in space. Just getting ready for whatever I'm going to work on. So I got 5 cards, which I picked out, so they're not completely random, but I'm going to pick one without seeing it. Dana, if you're watching this on YouTube, I still love the fact that I got trapped in the third card from the left, no third card from the right thing. So let's see what I'm gonna pick. What do we get? Awesome. My daughter's gonna be so excited. We got Kyogre. So we're gonna do Kyogre. Any Hoenn fans out in the audience? Why, yes, stream elements. I am live. Okie dokie. All right, so let's go over to our art window here. Woo. Okay. Pull up a reference photo just real quick. Remember, there's no shame in using reference. If anything, I would say use a bunch of reference to get an idea of the actual form of something instead of just trying to copy a single image. That's going to serve you way better. But you artists out there, just remember, you are not required to know how to draw everything ever from the top of your head, nor do you have to spend weeks practicing drawing it to get it just right before you attempt what you actually want to draw. Although you certainly are welcome to practice, and I've been known to do that. Okay, I'm going to label my reference layer, label my sketch layer. Good habits. Good habits, everyone. Labeling your layers so you don't get lost. I'm going to change out of black. It's not a great color for sketching. You're good. You're good. Maybe we'll saturate you a little bit more. Okay. So yeah, please feel free to draw along. This is for fun. I'm not going to finish this. I may not even end up with a sketch that I'm happy with. The idea is just to loosen up and have some fun and get our brains ready for art before we try to jump into our main project. So we have 5 minutes and we're going to start now. And I did in fact start the timer. Awesome. Okay. So I don't like to try to just draw the pose as it is on the page. I like to try to manipulate it, move it around in some kind of different position just to give myself a little extra challenge. And again, be thinking about shapes. So there's lots of good art of Kyogre kind of in a imposing type of like either from overhead, like this massive shape in the ocean, or kind of jumping pose. Maybe something where he's just kind of moving along there. That was my eraser tool. Don't need that to be that size. Okay, I'm going to use my design pencil. I'm going to go up to 40. I mean, just like kind of just smoothly swimming underwater. So we got this kind of maybe get a little bit more that way. Okay, that's all right. Gonna use my hotkeys. Okay. Something like that. Actually, it's a little bit shorter, that segment. Okay, okay. We're doing all right. So yeah, I hope everyone's had a good week so far. Especially if any of you got to enjoy a long weekend with Labor Day. Hope it was a good one. Hope you got together with some friends or family. We had a pretty good quiet one. Couple events. At this point, that's the kind of week it's been where already I can't remember what I did this weekend. Yeah. My brain's like, nope, we don't need that space anymore. We're going to use it for something else. Okay, I'm going to resize this guy as I am running out of space. Poor planning. Poor planning. There we go. You're good. Fun fact, Kyogre, one of the favorite Pokemon of our household. Actually, its reign of being favorite started due to playing Pokemon Go with Dana, who, if you guys watched the stream last week, you know him. He was here. Kyogre apparently is or was quite OP in the meta game for Pokemon Go. So Dana used Kyogre quite a bit, and at one point I got it in my head, I guess because Dana was going to be visiting Disney, to draw a picture of Kyogre riding Splash Mountain with him. So we did that, and honestly, I did it. It was just like this little like cell phone art program sketch image, and it really is one of my favorite little quick images I've ever drawn. Do I have it somewhere? Maybe I can look for it sometime. Here, it was good times. I can ask Dana if he's cool if I share it. Lots of cool little details on Kyogre. Doing kind of that semi-futuristic look. I guess him or her or legendaries might even be neutral, in fact. Okay, right. That's a cool eye feature where he's like that. All right. Is anybody else shocked by the fact that it is already like The first week of September is done. I am struggling to believe it myself. It just goes so fast. I don't know what it is. It's like once I hit September, it feels like it's just on a big old slip and slide to the end of the year. At least that's how it tends to go for me. This pose isn't really as dynamic as I'd like. We're about 5 minutes into our 5-minute warm up. This is okay. It's got the likeness. It's got the main shapes, but if I pick this up in the future ever, I'm gonna rework the pose a little bit. I'm not doing a lot of foreshortening. There's just not a lot of dynamism to it. It's okay for a warm up, but if I were gonna work this into a finished piece, I think there's a lot more I could be doing with it. Yeah, that's okay. That's why it's a warm up. We warm up just to loosen ourselves up and have a good time with it, and get ready for what we do plan on working on. Speaking of which, this is what I do plan on working on. We're gonna keep going with our little cookie gargoyle, or Lil Agu. I am trying to remember the name. Dana definitely helped me with the pronunciation, and I have forgotten, so I will have to ask him again tomorrow. Okay, so I did get a couple notes from Dana and Felicia, who again, just as a bit of review, I'm doing this shirt for them. They are Disney folks, just like our family, and of course, down at Disney Springs, there's a very excellent bakery called Gideon's Bakehouse. This character is their mascot, and I'm working this design into a shirt for them to print to wear on their next Disney trip. So they took a look at it, they watched the stream, and some notes. I did get a previous note that maybe we could work some kind of eyebrow expression lines in, as well as we could make the eyes black, and we could do a little bit more work to roughen up the chimney, make it not quite so clean, which that makes a lot of sense. We did rulers, and rulers can tend to look a little bit stiff, so we've got some good vector tools to work with that. Yeah, maybe add some cracks to it. Okay. Those are our notes from the client. What was I gonna do here? So let's just go ahead and take care of these eyes while I'm right here. I'm just gonna take this slightly purpley, gonna desaturate it a bit more and darken it more. We're not going for like a perfect black here. Just going for a little bit significantly darker. Usually when you're printing, things are gonna darken up significantly anyway, so I'm hesitant to go all in on the black. Yeah, I think that's good. That does give that kind of hollowness feeling, a little bit of spookiness. I wonder how cute this guy. I don't know. For a second I was feeling a little bit like the Duskull from Pokemon. Have the kind of like glowing orb eyeball. I don't know. It could work. I will see what client thinks. But in the meantime, I'll leave it as stated, because I think that's a good spooky look as well. And while I'm here, I can also we can get a little bit of highlight on these candy pieces. Oops, wrong way. Just a little bit. And roughen up the edge of this cookie by giving it a highlight, but not a consistent width of highlight on it. beauty of of layered working, of course, is that it's really easy to go and clean these out if in the end I'm like, oh no, just kidding, I hate it. Although I do try to be fairly open-minded and not actually hate things. But you get where I'm going with it. You get where I'm going. And you know what? I do want to add a little bit of roughness to that cookie itself. It is just looking a little bit too clean right now. Do I want to go for a textured brush here? I might. Pencil could be a good choice, especially large enough. Let's give you a try. Not quite. That's not quite it. You know what? There's also no shame in just doing something simple like that. Texture can come from opacity, strokes, or it can come from just repetition of small finite bits. And we don't want to go nuts here and like overdo it on things, but I do find that it's, especially since, you know, we all know that texture of like a good, you know, sink your teeth into it cookie. So let's give it a little bit of texture so it stands out. I do like that better. Okay. Okay, moving on. Moving right along tonight. Reset my white background. All right. Background lines. What are we gonna do to you? To black. All right, I'm gonna turn off the text. Turn off our foreground character. So we're just focusing here. Okay. Okie dokie. Control point. So yeah, anybody who wasn't here, I drew this in as a vector layer for my lines. That's how I like to do my lines because it makes them very scalable and very adjustable. And what I'm doing here, I'm looking at the actual vertices that comprise this line. And what I'm gonna do with that is add some control points, add some additional vertices. Because you know what? These don't need to be perfectly clean. Somebody put 80s music in my Game Chops Study Lounge radio, and I kind of love it. But I will spare you guys the high note. I'm not going to try to sing it, I promise. Mostly promise. So, you know, I could go in here and draw the line again by hand. I could turn off all the rulers, and that's fine. But since this is for a shirt, which is still a fairly clean line, I don't want to get too nuts on it. And I sometimes struggle to draw straight lines, as some of you may, as some of you may not. So instead of like drawing 20 or 40 attempts at the line to try to get the just right amount of variation in the line width and just the right amount of wobble, I'm gonna force it. I'm gonna force it in. You guys won't tell anybody, right? I hear the internet's a pretty quiet place. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. I mean, and a lot of this, if you zoom out far enough, it looks like essentially nothing. But it gives just enough detail up close that you're like, okay, this line is clearly not perfect. it was drawn by a human who may or may not have had too much coffee. Yeah. Okay, we're all right with this. We're all right with this. And another thing you can mess with in here is I could redraw the line thickness if I really wanted to, or manually adjust the thickness of only parts of the line. I'm not gonna do that here. Let's add maybe like a little bit of a crumble in here, something like that. Is there like a chunk missing out of you? Sure. Not sure that's my favorite, but I will leave it for now. I will leave it for now. And we can also, instead of just, we can round some of these points, these corners, but not perfectly. Give them that not so happy neat edge. You know how it goes. Things wear down over time. They're not neat little corners. They feel imperfect. I think that's it's a really good design inspiration actually from the Star Wars universe. If you read any articles about like some of the design by like the original designs by Ralph McQuarrie, as well as the execution by ILM, Industrial Lights and Magic, as well as some of like Doug Chiang's work that he did for the prequel trilogy. Star Wars universes are lived in. You can see the clean lines of the design idea, but they also tend to have, as rendered, imperfections, dirt, scuff marks, dings, and it just makes the whole universe feel so realistic. Speaking of Star Wars, anybody watching Ahsoka? Because we are. Since I know Dana and Felicia tend to watch the videos. Thank you, by the way. And they don't like to be spoiled on things. I'm going to save any opinions aside from we watch it to myself. But if anyone's out there who's been watching it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, we can stretch this a little bit. Give you a little more waiver. Okay, that's got some more feel, more feel. It's got some more personality to it. I like it. That doesn't make sense. I'm gonna leave you where I had you. Okay, I got some more straight lines I can clean up here, but I feel like we're starting to get at the idea of it, what we're going for. And I believe the actual full note said more spooky, which yes, let's go more spooky. In fact, perhaps we need to make it, hold on, wait for it. Keep waiting while I click around. Wicked spooky. Yeah, that was a lot of build up for not a lot of payoff. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm just making myself laugh tonight. That's how we do it. That's how we do it at House Wagner. Okay. Okay. This does indeed have a little bit more spookiness, a little bit more rundown feel to it. I do agree we can probably add a bit of a crack somewhere. Maybe. I'm okay with you. I'm okay with you. Although perhaps it wouldn't be as much in the brick as in the rim around it. Which, technically speaking, if I was being 100% realistic, would have bricks in and of itself too, but I like having it a little bit clean to contrast with our guy here. Also, it could be concrete. I've seen those. Just for fun. What happens if I move you? Maybe. Yeah, I can just... Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm not sure I want these guys. So I'm just going to paste you into a different layer. I'm just going to paste you to a new layer. That's not a new layer. This is a new layer. That moment when you're so tired that you mix up Control Z with Control V. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Let's try it again. There we go. Cracks one. Because why not? Okay. Easy. Like that. I'll think about those guys. So more likely, structurally, there would be like a crack here where there's the joint. Maybe have like a little chunk out here. We're careful not to have it tangented. All right, okay. That to me makes a bit more sense. And while we're at it, moon over here. No, maybe I'll wait to change its color. I'm probably going to change the color of the outline here because it's, you know, the moon, it's kind of the light source. Give it something that's not this thick black line, but for the time being, it's good there. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and start coloring this. This is looking pretty good. In terms of line work, I'm pretty happy with this. And here's my color palette that I've been using. That is not the color palette I've been using. I've been using this color palette. Okay. Just to see. How do we look next to each other? Pretty good. So likely. So I hadn't thought about this. Do I want the color to just kind of stop randomly? No, I should draw a line there to round that off. Okay, that's easy enough. Okay. Go back to black. Isn't it fun getting to see design choices and live action? Yeah, we were probably about 20 on here. No, we were a little bit, we knocked it down a bit. Let's try 15. And yeah, just kind of something like that. And when you know, after making a big deal for not being able to color in or draw a straight line, that came out pretty good. Okay, look at me. It's almost like I've drawn once or twice before. Maybe. Oh, but I still do want to close that off a little bit. You know, it would make more sense to just leave that on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I feel like that'll make more sense, having it a little more bound in. Let's look at this. I can delete some control points in here because we don't need that. Move these guys. Connect you together because that doesn't need to be two separate lines, because then I'm just gonna do something like that. Give it that kind of rough hewn feeling there. I think we all know what I'm gonna do here. Okay, just about there. Is this as thrilling as it seems to me to be doing it, to watch me edit individual control points in real time? It's, I'm sure it's riveting. But we're done with it, so that's good. That's good. We like done. Done is nice. Done is the natural enemy of not done. In case you didn't know that. It's very true. Okay. Yep. Yep, you're a reference layer now. Which fill tool am I using? Refer to other layers. Yes. Okay. And now the big question. Do we just keep this brick? That's okay. No, he's that kind of purpley. A goobdigis, that's what it was. A goobdigis. Finally remembered it. Yeah, he just blends in because that's the same color. That's not preferred. You could use a warmer tone instead of the cool. Something like that. Hey, I like that. The warm is a nice switch. Okay. Okay. It's almost like someone crafted this palette to go together well. I tell you what, if you invest the time in putting together a palette, you know, doing the whole thing, like just picking your red, picking your blue, picking your yellow, and mixing out all the colors and playing with the saturations and just building a pretty versatile palette from it, it will serve you really well. I've had this one for over a year now, and it's served me so well, and I'm so thankful. I was actually in a class for this one and working on sample pages, just to practice doing sample pages, like to do a few spreads of introduction for your characters. And I colored it all out, and I had done this like super, just very literal color scheme, and like, you know, it was fine, I guess. But we had like an office hours with the teacher for the course, and she was like, "So, what do you know about color theory?" And in that moment, I was like, "Oh no," because I do know a bit about color theory. You know, I've taken a lot of some seminars on it. I studied it in a graphic design, like short course program, but I hadn't applied any of it, and I don't know to this day why I didn't for the sample pages. And it ended up being one of those things that I was crazy because it was right before a due date, so I put in like 30 hours of work. Ashley was helping me flat stuff ahead of the due date, but in the end, I'm so thankful that I did it, because it reminded me, hey doofus, you need to make sure to use what you've learned, use the tools that are out there for you, and also it gave me a palette I've gotten a lot of use out of it. Not that I'm going to use that palette forever, but it ended up being really utilitarian for me. So thank you, teacher. All right, we're gonna do shadows as well. I'm going to actually tone down the shadow layer slightly here, so you'll see me dropping down that opacity. And that is very simply for the reason that our eyes are drawn to the contrast, right? Color contrast, and especially value contrast, light versus dark. So I'm pulling back on the contrast in the background layer, and that'll help keep the foreground layer much more the focus. But I am going to use a consistent background color for this, or shadow color, using that kind of purpley, which is pretty common. Oop, that's not the layer I wanted. Hey! Not bad. 41 minutes in before I finally drew on the wrong layer. Is this improvement? Oh, and I didn't even turn it to multiply yet. There we go. Good. I'm just gonna rough this one in because, hey, that'll also emphasize that the edge of the chimney isn't super clean. Oopsie daisy. So my next step will be hotkeying my favorite tools. Add a little shadow here just to emphasize that that is in fact in the foreground. A little here. Does it make perfect sense that the moon is behind and there's shadows cast here? No. But the point of this isn't to do literal realistic shadow. The point here is to go ahead and give depth and pop out those cookie crumbles and show, hey person walking by, this is in the back, this is in the foreground and not part of the chimney. And I'm just going to continue with my general, for whatever reason, go-to rule that the light source is always in the upper left-hand corner. I mean, I don't always do it, but my brain just defaults to it. So I'm guessing that as a kid, I like drew the sun in the upper left-hand corner of the picture or something all the time. That's got to be the reason, right? Okay. Does have some relief. I'm just gonna rough in the shadow lines for other bricks that I didn't feel like drawing. We don't have to do it for all of them, but if you give the brain enough to hint like, oh, okay, there's more there that I don't see, and fill in just a little bit. Thanks, Ash. Did you have any thoughts on the colors for this background for the chimney?
Like the colors that are on it right now?
Yes. Just checking with the producer.
It's very red. Like, is it gonna be darker?
Yeah, I was thinking like a red brick chimney. Very, you know, we're there.
It's like Santa's hat red right now.
Santa's hat red.
Instead of like.
Oh, the red. I see it now.
Yeah, and being a chimney, I just think, oh, red chimney, Christmas, but it's more
Spooky. And they also specifically mentioned New England-y.
I don't know what that means for chimneys.
I feel like red brick, like ivy. I'm not gonna draw the ivy, but or Victorian England. Sorry.
Victorian England or New England? What?
Wow, I totally took that in the wrong direction. Everyone, make sure to read things thoroughly before you act on them. Hold on, it's reference time. Victorian England chimney. It is brick. Hey.
Do you want to grab one of those colors?
I could. I'm not sure they'll be in palette, but I could use them to guide what I'm trying to do. And they have some that are more brown brick-ish.
Yeah, because it's such a bright red.
Yeah.
More, even like the dark brown chips, Reese's Pieces.
That's true. Yeah, they need to stand out more. Okay. For everybody watching at home, this is
No, I'm not telling you to stand out more. I'm telling you the brick could be the same or close brown to that dark brown.
I kind of wanted them to stand out more, either by being lighter or being darker
And what?
than the chimney. So looking like at this,
Yeah, but they're only on the light part right now. I like the crack in it.
thanks.
Yeah, like the lighter.
Yeah.
The darker spots on the lighter of it. You could add some soot to the light part.
That's a good idea. That would add the spookiness factor. The soot. Hey, Janos. Welcome back. How have you been? Oh, that's super dark. So you've just joined us while I am figuring out what a Victorian England chimney looks like. Working out. Well, good luck. I'm sorry you're going through stuff. I hope you can work it out soon. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Things are good here. Life is about to get crazy. It's gonna be a pretty busy next month or so. Lots of good stuff, but it's been a bit nuts getting ready for it. Oh man, 2 months? That's a while to be going through it. I'm glad you're hanging in there. Hard to find good rest. Yeah, well, I hope you're able to. That's such an important part with anything. Preach into the choir. Jeff says as he stays up till midnight streaming. But yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's try a different color. That dark is really dark. But I might have something in palette that's closer. Yeah, they don't stand out well now that I'm looking at it. Alright, let's just play around with some of these. See. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hoping to finish this one up. Just working with some notes from Dana and Felicia, who I'm making the shirt for. Let's try this. That is what we were going for. Yes, the super creepy hollowed out eyes. Did you see when I tried earlier with the like the glowing like light orb in? No, I didn't see that. Okay. Let's play around with it. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I think this is a much better brick color, and I do think the cookies stand out a little bit more. Okay, look at that. We're moving it forward. A tragedy? Oh no, what's the tragedy? Oh. That's okay. You know, yeah, usually I come to think of it, I always say it at the beginning of stream, but it doesn't account for anyone who joins in all the way through. You can call me Jeff, or you can call me Wags. Really, whatever you prefer. I know our channel is WagWorks. That's our team, our creative team. But yeah, I'm Jeff with a G, or Wags, whatever you prefer. Okay. Yeah, you can call me that. That's great. Waggy's good. Okay. Ashley approves. Okay, that is better. I do like that brick color so much better. Okay. Okay. This is why it helps to get an external opinion sometimes. Thank you. Thank you for the good name. Okay. Alright, so that's good. And I do like that soot and kind of almost like algae or moss growing on the side. Can I work some of that in? It is almost greenish. Okay, we're gonna add a separate layer for that just because I'm gonna play around a bit here. And I would like to preserve what I got going. Hello? Program? Alright, I'm gonna save because it is starting to act a little bit wonky and I don't want it to crash on me without saving. Okay, I can do that. What kind of pencil tools do I have here? Maybe the tapered? You could work. So Janos, I haven't asked, have you been working on anything lately, like art-wise? Alright, let's try this. Hello, pen? I hear you. Yeah, it can be really hard when you're busy and also not feeling inspired. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, at least it's something, right? Do you find, like, does it feel like a escape for you to get to do some art? Hello, art pen. Hello. Alright. Well, my pen has decided that it is not happy with me at the moment. So, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna save my warm-up here real quick because I'm gonna restart ye old Clip Studio. But I have been trying to save my warm-ups in case I want to come back to them. What is today? The 7th? Today's the 7th. Feel like it's gonna be January 20th. I'm gonna look back and be like, wasn't it just early September yesterday? Okay, save you. Close you. And let's head over to just chatting. All right, there we are. And I'm going to once again try to not hide behind my chat box while I close out Clip Studio and come back in. Good times, good times. I agree. Art is such a good form of therapy. Like it's the best. Like I found my work has been nuts lately for me. So I've been looking forward to stream as like this is my dedicated art time. No matter what happens, I know I've set aside this time Thursday night. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna do my art. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah. I don't know, the more I think about it, I don't understand why I didn't notice that I really enjoyed art as a kid even. You know, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it, Janos. But yeah, I was in junior high art class. We had this big open studio and the big tables, and that time just working and chatting with people was this amazing comfort, happy time for me. And I don't feel like I really even recognized it until much later on. But here I am now. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did. Sorry. That's right. You know, I do recommend highly starting an art stream if you're thinking about it. It's been really fun. This is my 10th stream. But yeah, and you know, you don't need a lot. There's actually are you working digitally or traditionally? I can't recall if I asked you that either. Yeah, but I also find sometimes, and this may not be the case with you. I'm not an expert on other people's lives by any means, but sometimes you gotta carve out the time as well. Like I kept on thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do an art stream. I talked about it like 6 months ago or more, and finally it took like deciding like July 3rd. That's when I'm gonna start. I'm so sorry. I have parent brain. I forget lots of things. I'm working on it. But yeah, it took, like, I talked about it for quite a while, but it took just finally like picking a date and holding my feet to the fire to do it, and I had to make the time. Okay. Yay, my pen's back. Eh. That is too bright and too sad. No, too saturated. Really? Okay. No, that's not quite right. Lifing is hard. I agree 100%. Yeah, and again, I'm not an expert on anybody's life, but my own. At least sometimes I think my own, but definitely not other people's. Yeah, I'm never gonna argue with something like with something like that, like the taking the time to spend with your loved ones. That is absolutely the priority, and you know, for whatever it's worth, same. Like I would 100%. I never switched back to Clip Studio. I would 100% make the same choice if I had to choose between the two. Well, I'm always happy to share suggestions if they're helpful, but I never want to give the impression that I'm trying to tell somebody else how to live their life, or give the impression that I think I know better than them how they should live their own life. Well, thank you. Thank you for being so open-minded and understanding. I appreciate that. And I really want to respect that. And then tread respectfully, you know? Okay. Let's take a look at this again, because I feel like I've lost sight of what I was trying to replicate. Okay. Okay. Here you go. You are actually going to go much bigger brush size. Oop. A little more pressure there. Ooh, I do kind of like that. Okay. That is a bit grimier and spookier. I knew I was going somewhere with this. Fundamentals, it is always about. in the end, fundamentals are always the solution, right? Mm-hmm. Art became a lifestyle as a kid? I think so, yeah. I'm envious of that. I wish I had noticed it in myself more earlier. Not. I have a lot to be thankful for. The career that I've led so far, and I'm very grateful for the position it's put me in, to where I can pursue this art stuff where I'm not, I'm not having to scrounge to put food on the table. But yeah, I see it and I'm like, oh, it would have been nice to have like actually done art classes past junior high, or taken art classes in college. But I've been learning now, and I realize I've been studying a lot for the last 7-8 years. So it's not like I'm not getting education in that area. Ooh, exotic pets. So what are your exotic pets? Can I erase like a cool texture in here? No, I don't think you told me about this. But I'm very curious. That's too big. No, I don't think I need to put any holes in there. Hey, before you get to know me, just know you might consider me a psycho in the next 2 seconds. I think, honestly, I feel like everybody has like a thing that they could give that disclaimer for. Not that they're always aware of it. So kudos to you for being aware. But I'm very curious about the pets now, especially with the disclaimer. Okay, so geckos, or well, you have had geckos and snakes, but tarantulas, okay. No, that's, I mean, they're not what most people consider cuddly, right? Tarantulas and snakes, but they sell them in pet stores, so it can't be like crazy. I will say our household is very split when it comes to the matter of snakes. Very cuddly. As long as it's a gentle, friendly, cuddly. I mean, tarantulas are fuzzy. Although it's not like a stiff, like, kind of pokey hair on the tarantulas. Or were you talking more of the snakes? And also, is it like python snakes? Like, I'm very curious about this because, like, I don't, we're not, like, we don't have any pets whatsoever. We would be unlikely to have snakes because some members of the household are not huge fans. Okay, hognoses. How big did those get? I've heard the phrase, but I have no mental image to go with it. I could probably look this up just very easily. Not very big. Cute and sassy. Sassy snake. It's good alliteration for sure. Okay, yeah. I've seen these. I know these, what these are. Okay. So we used to live in Georgia, and we live in Florida now. So there's obviously snakes. We have mostly like we see black racers around here. That's probably our most predominant. In Georgia, we had a lot of king snakes. So I got used to the idea of good snakes, like friendly helpers who also keep the dangerous snakes away. Yeah, there we had oh my gosh, we had like a 2-footer in our backyard. They're not little, and we would very often, you know, a few times a year at least, find their shed skins out in the backyard. Yeah, well, what was really fun about it was the fact that it like got between us and the entrance to the house. Like the door wasn't open or anything, so I might have not been as calm about it if the door like was open and they were just like, I'm gonna go into your house and eat your snacks. I know they can't quite do that. But it was definitely a surprise because there's something so like fluid about the movement of snakes, right? Like it's smoother than you would expect and so quiet. And so one minute it's like they're not there, and then the next minute, oh, there's a 2-foot long snake right there. Yeah, it was a surprise. But once, you know, we looked it up, I'm like, okay, it's a king snake. It protects against predators. How did you get into tarantulas? Just like, is it one of those things that you were interested in as a kid, and then you were able to get one as a pet, and then it went from there? Thanks. All right. So I like that kind of mildewy, spooky thing we got going on. I'm gonna make this shadow a little bigger. Give this a little bit more of a protruding edge. Still kind of go for that little bit of the roughness to give that sense of a rough hewn edge to it. Okay, that feels more right. Okay. Maybe, nah. Trying to leave like a little bit of space so I don't create like a visual expectation of too much density of lines. Eh. So you just saw a Black Widow chilling out making a web. And did you know that was like a one of the more venomous spiders? The story continues. That's not quite straight. Okay. Oh, you were really little. Okay. I'm like riveted. Excuse me. Yes. And clearly, I know you're okay now. You were safe. But. That's good. I'm gonna add a little shadow underneath. And again, this is not like a perfectly realistic shadow, although you could say this is like sort of a bit of ambient occlusion. But the real purpose of this is just to give the foreground a little more sense of weight and anchor it in a little bit to what we're doing. Yeah, that's a little too tangent-y. Okay, so the Black Widow was the start of the tarantula fascination, but there's more. Okay, there. Oh, that's cool. So, did it get to be something like... Oh, that's so fun. I love that that's a bonding experience for you guys.
So it would be on the top because it's from coming out.
Right. Yeah. The soot would be on the top. So what I was looking at was in the reference they had like that almost like moss that was growing on it, and so I was kind of trying to replicate that a little bit. Do you think the soot would better serve it? Like, sorry, producer's notes coming on in. Oh. Does it not read clearly? Okay, I'm gonna play around with adding a soot layer and just seeing, like adding a little bit like around the rim of it to give it that effect and just see how it comes out. It's good. Cool. Thank you. I was not very aware of the varieties of tarantulas, but arboreal, I mean, yeah, that I get trees, I get that part. Interesting. So if it wasn't clear, Ashley was just noting, we talked about the idea of adding some soot, and I got kind of like the mossy, mildewy thing going on here. But if we were doing soot, that would be more at the top of the chimney. So I might try doing a little bit at the layer up there. Okay. Okay. Maybe I could give it a little shadow here to kind of... give it like the feeling of a little bit of an edge. Maybe. Maybe. Not sure. Kind of a little bevel on it. So then I have to ask, do you ever combine your two most passionate hobbies and do art of spiders? You have before? I mean, it only makes sense, right? If you care about something, you're probably gonna draw it. It's actually funny. I was just reading a book to my son before I came on to stream, and there's like in the background, one of the details they had illustrated, and there was like that the kid had a tarantula. So I love that this came up. It's kind of amazing. There's a type of, it's like a subspecies of orb weaver that's like that. It's like, it almost looks like it's it makes me think of the Skulltulas in Zelda games. Almost the way that it's got like the almost shield like shape on the back, and it's white, and it's got some accents of red. Yeah, I agree. There's some really amazing species of spider. We had an orb weaver setup shop outside like our porch door in Georgia, and we just didn't use the door. Like granted, like okay, this is an orb weaver, it's probably safe, but like just seeing it come out and rebuild its web every night was so cool. I'm like, I don't want to disturb you. This is too pretty. It wasn't a heavily used door anyway, to be fair, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But it was pretty cool to see them like every night about sunset. She'd come out and do her thing, and that was really neat. Hey Frank, how's it going? No, Frank doesn't suck. Well, hey, welcome on in. Good to see you. Oh no, there's war in chat. What's happening? That escalated quickly, I gotta say. Throwing the tomatoes. What? Okay. The unrest seems to have subsided. There was peace in chat once again. Okay. We will be here, most likely. I'm still aiming to finish this one. Peace is always an option, Frank. Only victory. What if victory is peace, though? That's what I would like to put forward. Let's say that's moss. We call that a moss layer. It's a moss layer. And we'll try a soot layer too. I like that idea. If I can execute it well, it'll be nice. Victory is crushing your enemy. What if victory is not having an enemy in your heart in the first place? I could just sit here and be contrary. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm just curious. I try to keep it easy going here, you know? Okay. We can always talk more about crushing your enemy later. But, did you hear anything about the job? Is what I've been wondering this week. Oh, man. Well, I'm sorry you haven't heard anything yet. I am hoping for you. my friend. Maybe the sit pattern should be a finer texture. Don't you think? Let's bring that down. Oh, nice. Like delivering mail, like postal service delivering mail? How does that look? Does that look okay? Oh, I'm on the textured eraser. I don't want to be on the textured eraser. Oh, nice, nice. We have an extended family history with the post office, so much respect. Got yelled at by an old woman today. Sorry. I shouldn't laugh at this. I'm sorry. That is not fun. That is like a definition of not fun. All for just doing the thing that you're supposed to do. Unless you were throwing like tomatoes at her, like your emote is doing, in which case I could understand the yelling. Is the old lady your enemy? Okay. The middle of the mountains where the old people live. So these are like hard mountain old people. Right, right. That makes a lot of sense. Busy because the post office was closed. Okay. Maybe the soot. Maybe not the soot. Oh. So she was angry because she had to go pick it up, but there was nowhere to put it. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like people. Like, was she less yelly after the explanation? Okay, I might be okay with that. That looks relatively sooty and dingy. Now the reference. I mean, I don't want to lean just 100% on reference and try to reproduce it exactly, but it is helpful to know kind of what you're going for, the feeling of it. Okay. Not necessarily on the brick, and that's okay. But I could try it on the brick. See what we're getting. Why did you? Oh, so it escalated from there? Sometimes people just want to be mad, it seems like, you know? Like, they just... Yeah, I don't really like that on the brick. I'm just gonna leave the brick plain. I think it looks better that way. So was there like an old lady chase involved then? Did she run after you? Then did she get mad at you for referring her to the postmaster? Yep. I mean, I probably shouldn't be surprised by that at this point. Oh no. Well, at least like you weren't an instigator and like, well, you know, the postmaster told me specifically to leave your package. That would have been a mess. Do I want to be a little bit rough on here? A little bit, maybe. I hear you. It's hard when people really don't give you much to work with. But from the sounds of it, you did not give into that temptation, in which case I would definitely say, yes, kudos to you. I'm glad you didn't do that. It's so hard. Sometimes people are just, they're in a mood. They're ready to get mad. And they decide it's going to be you. You are going to receive my anger today. Give it a little bit of depth to this moon here. Might need to use hard light to get this to, not hard mix, hard light to get this to show up really at all. But we'll check and see if we need to notch it down a little bit. Yeah, maybe just a bit, huh? I guess I shouldn't be shocked that it sounds like perhaps there's a bit of a history on this one, huh? Okay, let's knock this down just slightly. We don't need it to be super contrasty, just enough to give a little depth to it. And a little bit of light on here. Oh, that really takes away from the soot. Why is he sitting on Snoopy's house? You weren't here. You weren't here earlier when it was a red brick and it was very much Snoopy's house. Just a chimney. Just a chimney. A little gargoyle sitting on a chimney eating a cookie. It's either a giant cookie or a tiny chimney. You're welcome to pick which one you want it to be. It's I like that. I like that. Tiny Chibi gargoyle sits on the world's tiniest chimney with world's largest cookie. That works. It checks out. It checks out. Bring that down a little bit more. Or 70. 70 is good. I like round numbers. I might take a look and see if I want to add any light highlight here on the brick for relief, but I don't want to overdo it. Hello? Right, it happens when you draw with the eraser, Jeff. That's what happens. Okay, we can do a little bit. Bully someone? Wait a minute. I mean, yeah, I'll see it when you get back, but don't bully. No bullying. Yeah, I think it does need that little bit of the light. Just a touch of it, though. Indecisive artist doesn't make decision. I can probably go a little more sparingly on it. That is my decision. Hey, welcome back, Janos. Just been working on this background a little bit. I think we're getting close on the main body of it, at least for tonight. I'll see what Dana and Felicia say, what their thoughts are, if they have any more notes. Not much, although Frank did have a story. Well, I'm just gonna try to finish this up tonight. I'm thinking till midnight is my kind of hard stop, typically, here, just because, you know, work in the morning and all that. But I'll probably be going for another half hour or so. It is currently 11:34 p.m. I'm on East Coast time. Excuse me. Yeah, see our previous discussion about trying to find time to stream. It is a bit of a stretch sometimes. So 10 o'clock is like as early as I can start, but then that means if I stream for any amount of time, it's gonna be late. But especially it turns out with kids, if you want to actually spend time with them, your best time to do things is after they're asleep. Yeah. Yeah, I can absolutely respect that challenge. It's real. It's real. Okay, what are we doing here? I think I like the background for now. It doesn't have to be super detailed. This is actually more detailed than I initially imagined, but it's enough. So we'll add our text. I don't think anyone's ever told me they're going to cherish information. Okay. I'll see you when you get back. See you on the other side. Might still be making analogies for saying things about seeing you upon your return when you get back. Sometimes you just get in a good rhythm, you know? I don't know what color they want to make this shirt. I think they were going to pick that possibly based on the art. So what color do I want the text? What color should the text be? You know, spooky colors are good. We talked about that option. I'd like the text to be something a little bit different. I might do this kind of yellowy, ghostly green. We could try that. We could try that and see where that takes us. This is a little more yellowy. This is more greeny. Let's try it. Let's just see what we get. And I'm gonna turn all these guys off for now. And I should probably make a layer to hold my flat colors, huh? I hear that's what those artists do. Okay. It is a bit yellowy, but especially if there's like a darker shirt, that could be really nice. We'll call that yellow. And I'm gonna make two. So I can toggle it. Okay, that was with the yellowy color. This will be with the greenish color. Okay. Ooh, green might be a strong contender. And it's a color that's not actually contained in our art, so it will stand out a bit. Ooh, I think I like that. I think I like that a lot. Let's see. The yellow's good. If it was like a bold purple shirt, I could see the yellow complementing that well. But I do like that. Okay. And just for fun, let's turn off the paper so you can see the transparency. You can always test it out with different background colors too if they want to see what that looks like. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. I am pretty happy with this one. Just for fun, I might try adding some shadow and light over these guys. You know. I can definitely tell when my brain hits the time where it's like, what are words again? I don't remember. It's good times, truly. Hey Frank, welcome back. How was the bullying? I hope it wasn't actually bullying. Just to go on the record, I am not pro-bullying. I'm anti-bullying. By the way, fun fact. Not that I mind being called Jeff with a wait, you're not. You lied to me? Now you're back. Okay. Welcome back. Not that I'm anti-Jeff with a J spelling, but technically speaking, fun fact, I am Jeff with a G. And I have been called many, many erroneous things over the course of my life. Oh, it's fine. I don't think it actually says it. I'm not sure it says it anywhere on the channel. Are you, wait, are you knew this. You're teasing. I am really, really bad at picking up dry humor. Exceptionally bad. I love it. It's great. But so many things just sail straight over my head. And you'd think, you know, eventually I'd catch on. But no. No. It's like my brain doesn't even want to call that Jeff. It just wants to say Geff. Now watch, as there's probably someone who is actually Jeff spelled that way. Who's like, I take offense to that. I accept all forms of Jeff spelling. I've actually had people call me Jorf. Which, like, you know, there's not really an R there. But it has a unique sound to it. Oh no, now we're down to PH. What have I done? I did this to myself. I did this to myself. I take full responsibility. Bum, 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 bum. I was just thinking about the soundtrack earlier today. You know, it's funny, as I totally could have probably just called it, like, gone with a flat color and called this a day. But I do find something very zen about not just shading, but also shading lettering. Is strangely therapeutic. Lettering. You know, Frank, I am just as surprised as you are that I like lettering. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about it. It's very relaxing to me. I'm not fast. Nor is it always the most beautiful lettering. Yeah. Like, so I mean, you use like a font, right? For actual comics, I do a font. I don't hand letter any of those. In fact, a lot of the artists that I've heard of that do anything resembling that, like some will do all hand lettered if they really want to do it, but a lot of them will use a service to get like a font of their handwriting to make it easier. Lettering is not as easy as you'd think. That's for sure. I guess I'm thinking more like this kind of lettering where I'm doing it like an artsy lettering. Maybe that's just not going to have a shadow on it. That doesn't make a lot of sense to have a thick shadow. I mean, it works. Like, you can, you know, you can engage in font snobbery if you wish to. And perhaps there's times that I do. But, you know, the number one rule, I was in a class and they just, I agree 100% with, like, the number one rule is, like, is it readable? Can you read it? Does it get the point across? And you can argue all sorts of points like, oh, you know, do you need a special font that's, like, more easy to read, especially for people with, like, dyslexia, stuff like that? Should you do all caps? Should you do mixed case? You know, what is the superior font? Should you hand letter? But at the end of the day, especially because, like, you do a lot of comedy, it's not like a super like crazy artsy thing. So the point is to deliver the idea, and so readability is king when you're doing something like that, right? Like, I think I found a really good one. I think it was recommended from one of our critique groups that we were in, but I think I might have also seen it listed in the front jacket of a graphic novel. But Comic Crazy is really good. I mean, the hype is real, Frank. I like the art that you put up there and, like, the logo. I am curious to see what you do with Foul Play. Hey, welcome back, Janos. I'm just here shading in some lettering. Yeah, it looks good, Frank. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense for that to be shaded. You are shaded. Yep. Oh my gosh, Batman the Animated Series. That brings back some memories. So good. It was definitely a lot more serious than most of the things I watched at the time, so it was interesting. Well, what's the phrase? Steal like an artist? It's okay if you need to rest, Janos. Please take care of yourself. That is number one. Love having you here. Love chatting. I don't want anyone to harm themselves or deprive themselves of much needed rest. Probably. That doesn't sound like don't worry. That sounds like maybe worry a little. Well, wouldn't that be kind of the joke? If, like, part of his power set is that he can fly, but then they're like, aren't you a bird? And he's like, no, but I can fly different. And then, you know, there could be some aspect in which that, like, becomes useful to something he does. Just a thought. I hear you. My brain is nearing that time as well. Words are not as easy as they were like 20 to 30 minutes ago. But I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish shadowing this lettering that I probably didn't need to shadow in the first place. But I really like it with a little bit of relief to it. So I'm gonna do it. Yeah. I like how like over a few streams the conversation can come full circle like that. Words? Whose words? When's words? King Frog. Is this one of your comics that I haven't seen yet, or am I missing a reference somewhere? A villainous mustache. Fair. Okay, so you haven't Instagrammed it yet. Gotcha. Well, now I need to see the frog with the villainous mustache. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled for it. That's too much right there. Okay. Okay. It's funny because I literally just colored in okay, and I wasn't even thinking about that. It's like when I, one of my first streams, my early ones, I was talking about, you know, this guy, the art glove, and I said, oh, it comes in handy, and I didn't even realize the pun that I had made. Which is funny because usually I'm acutely aware and make all the puns on purpose. Even when people beg me to stop. I don't think that's happened yet. Maybe my kids. It's fun when they get to the age where they can be like, oh, please stop, Dad. This is embarrassing. So we're getting some good mileage out of the Waggy name. I'm liking it. I think it's still, it's so far standing the test of time. The time being like an hour, but this is still time. It still counts. Almost 2, yeah. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do something, and I forgot what it was. Does this work? Does my stream elements do this? I have meant for a long time to actually go in and set up more stuff in stream elements. Nope, I don't want sticky keys. I'm gonna see if my uptime command works. Cause, oh, well, why would I need to do that though? I can just see. You know, I'm just gonna test it because I like to see if stuff works. Hey, it does work. Yay. I did something. I did a thing. Definitely, I really hope to build out more stuff with stream elements and play with some of the stuff I can do in the future. But, you know, see our previous discussion about time. When I first started, my first few weeks of doing streams, I was making a point like once a week to come in for like half an hour on a day that I wasn't streaming and just play around with stuff. But that has had to give way a little bit with life life things going on. I'll get back to it at some point, though. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna finish coloring this in at like 11:59 p.m. And actually, I don't even think I wanted to shade that part of the Y. Cool. Okay. Everything that I want to be transparent is transparent. Okay, we're looking good there. Collapse these guys down. No, restore the intelligent thoughts. It's all good. It is midnight. It is not the time for intelligent thoughts, at least not from me. Let's just see what this looks like for fun with a purple background. I'm going to use my only the editing layer fill and pray that I was okay. Okay, purple could work. What is happening to my color picker window? Oh my goodness. I don't know if that showed up on stream. That was weird. I should saturate things more. Even like an orange. Okay, this works with a few different colors. I will work with Dan and Felicia and figure out what they want, but I, aside from any tweaks or notes they might have otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that. Hey, you got it up there. Welcome back. I will look for that later tonight after stream. Foul play 1-3. Thank you. Whew, okay. I did it. We did it. We did it together, guys. More gore. Only cookie gore. Only cookie gore is allowed in this. I know. Okay. Alright, guys. It's been really good hanging out. It's been really good talking. Blood-filled cookie. You know, they might have that. I mean, like a jam or something, but they may have something like that. Gideon's is very, like, cute, spooky themed. Yeah, my brain is just about to completely crash. And it's that time where I have to go, so I can get sleep and, you know, work tomorrow. But thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging out, Janos, Frankie, Ashley. Ashley's probably asleep right now. Go to your crypt. The crypt of the GEPH. Is that what we settled on? Is that my name spelling now? I'm pretty sure it's official since we decided it here in chat. GEPH Waggy. That's my new name. That's me. Yep. Okay, it's time. It is time. Thank you guys. Thank you. Let's all get some sleep, get some rest. I know it's still thankfully earlier for you, Frank, but oh, we've got the F at the end now. Is that better? Is it worse? I can no longer tell. Let's keep going with it. We'll keep editing it next week. It'll be good. But yeah. Good night, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Good night, anybody watching, lurking, watching on YouTube, the recording. thanks for hanging out, and I will be back next Thursday. Maybe slightly different format. We'll see. Like, got some busy life stuff going on, but I'm gonna be on aiming for 10 o'clock Eastern time next Thursday. So yeah, I will see you guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much for hanging out. Till next time, adios.